Welcome to Art History, Egypt from Narmer to Cleopatra. The ancient Egyptian cultures established along the Nile River in Egypt between 3500 BCE and 30 CE Common Era were characterized by complex social organizations under the leadership of pharaohs. Much of their art and architecture was produced to honor these rulers, who were thought to be divine, as well as the gods in Egyptian pantheon, the most important of which were Amun, the supreme god, and Ra, god of the sun. Ancient Egyptian culture is divided into periods according to dynastic rule. The pre-dynastic and early dynastic period, 3500 to 2575 BCE, and the Old Kingdom, the Middle Kingdom, and the New Kingdom, and the final period, the first millennium, in which Egypt came increasingly under foreign rule. The early 19th century, one of Napoleon's soldiers discovered the Rosetta Stone. It was later used as a kind of translator's tablet which contained hieroglyphics, Demonic and Greek, and allowed scholars to read Egyptian hieroglyphics. Linguistic symbols included on many works of Egyptian art and architecture. Among the most significant of these are the Great Pyramids in Giza, constructed during the Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom rock-cut tombs, and enormous New Kingdom temple of Amun-Re at Karnak. With notable exceptions, the stylistic features of Egyptian painting and sculpture evolved slowly, remaining remarkably consistent through 3 millennia. Ancient Egypt. A detail of a watercolor from a pre-dynastic period tomb at Hierapolis. The mural is painted on a plastered wall and shows us scenes from life, and the man's journey across the river Styx to the afterlife. The palette of Narmer provided the standard conventions for representing Egyptian kings and pharaohs throughout Egyptian history. The image on the left shows the king of Upper Egypt performing the ritual slaying of an enemy. The palette on the right shows the pharaoh of Lower Egypt ritually cutting off the heads of defeated warriors. Stylistic art conventions of Egypt remain constant except for a brief period when the pharaoh Akhenaten ruled in the New Kingdom. Early on, bodies were buried under mastaba tomb platforms. The step pyramid of Zoser at Saqqara is built of stacks of platforms. The architect Imhotep is the first artist whose name is recorded. Columned entrance of Saqqara at Djoser's tomb. The Great Pyramids at Giza, built during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom. Model of the pyramid complex at Giza. Early statues were block-like. Menkuri and Kabernebti are posed in the conventional manner with the wife's arm around her husband, who is striding forward. Statues were often painted like this seated scribe. According to ancient Egyptian beliefs, the Ka or life force lives in the sculpture, keeping the dead person alive in the afterlife. The Middle Kingdom 12th dynasty head of Senusret II shows a determined realism. Middle Kingdom burials are on the east side of the Nile at Beni Hassan because earlier pyramids and tombs were being robbed. The tombs are decorated with murals and painted relief sculptures. Interior of a rock-cut tomb at Beni Hassan. Columns and clerestory of that hypostyle hall of Amun-Re. New Kingdom Pharaoh Hatshepsut is the first great female monarch recorded. She built the largest mortuary temple at Bel El Bahri. Hatshepsut's daughter Ansemuet from Thebes, Egypt. Shaped as male figures are called Atlantans in Ramses' temple. The funeral banquet from a tomb shows two women at the lower left in a frontal pose, rarely attempted in Egyptian art. The mural is painted in the fresco secco technique, meaning on dry wall. Nefertiti from Amarna was the wife of Akhenaten. Akhenaten, Nefertiti, and three daughters illustrate the casual, more naturalistic style of the Amarna period. The sun disk god Aten shines above them. Death mask of Tutankhamun, the boy king. Innermost coffin of Tutankhamun from his tomb at Thebes, Egypt. A painted wooden chest from the tomb of Tutankhamun. The temple of Amun-Re at Karnak. The Last Judgment of Hu-Nefer from his tomb tells the story of the journey that the dead person takes so he or she can be presented to the god of the underworld. The heart of the dead person must be weighed against a feather. If the heart is too heavy, the composite beast devours the dead person, and that's the end. The portrait statue of Mentemhet is freestanding in the round. Notice how the arms are still attached to the body. The pylon temple of Horus, protector of the pharaoh, is an example of Greek-style architecture. Was built during the Greek period. Alexander the Great defeated the Hyksos, the foreign rulers of Egypt.